All right, Leroy. So the other thing that happened yesterday, a little post-game drama in the Twitter streets, was Tua Tagovailoa's trainer, Nick Hicks, was ripping the team on Twitter. So he tweeted out, Ross is pissed, team is bad, but if Tua wins next week against the Jags, it's for sure the defense and Flores is coaching. Laughing emoji. The kid deserves better. He got the bleep end of the stick and above all has succeeded. Maybe not your idiotic opinion, but the numbers don't lie. He's also doing some reposts. I think Flores' record without Tua 8-16 with Tua 7-3. So there was that, and then somebody else responded. Oh, it seems like he has deleted the tweets. Knew that was going to happen. Luckily, I screenshotted it because I knew that was probably going to happen.
Hey,
dude, I knew that was a mile away. I knew that was coming.
Tobin knows a deleted what a deleted
oh,
tweet
dude,
looks like.
yeah. Oh, trust me. Listen, I know that the dude gets a call up and is going to be one of those things where that's going to get deleted for sure. But he also was saying coming back on a team that quit on their coach while he's fighting for his job. He responded, "Quit?" ? The coach is even hard to even talk to. How much harder do you think he is to play for? Child, please. And then somebody also put out on a poll, in your opinion, has Flores lost the locker room? And he just responds simply, yes. Yes. So Tua's trainers out here, who we've had on the show, seems like a sweetheart, Nick Hicks. Delightful beard. Handsome fella. Just putting that caveat out there. But is kind of hosing the coach down. And I would say, look, I don't know what Tua's opinion is of Brian Flores. I'd imagine that his trainer's opinion of Flores is somewhat fueled by Tua. It would seem only natural. But I don't know how great
that doesn't sound like Tua.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, we do.
We don't know, Leroy. No, we don't.
Based on the way
Leroy,
this guy,
we don't know what his relationship is with Brian Flores. We don't.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that some of the things that he said Tua would say doesn't sound like Tua.
As far as what?
So
that Tua might say, Brian Flores kind of hard to talk to.
But here's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That Brian Flores will not be the first coach that's hard to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
You think I did okay in Minnesota, right?
Yes.
I had maybe 3 conversations with Denny Green. It wasn't because we had beef or anything like that. That's just the way he did things. Was if he had a problem with you, he would talk to your position coach or the offensive coordinator. And that's just the way it was. You had conversations with Denny. It wasn't like you couldn't go talk to Denny.
What was his relationship? If I may, though, what was his relationship like with either Dante or Randall Cunningham or whoever was quoted? Was it a little bit more solid because it's the QB?
Just more interaction.
Right. So that's
that's
what I would say would be the difference, though. Like, I don't. If you're telling me Myles Gaskin isn't having many conversations with Flo, I get it.
I got you. Like, but I just think that a lot of people have this vision of what football is supposed to look like, right? And that's not entirely accurate, right? Like, coaches and players don't always have you're going to have the interaction with a coach. But it might not necessarily be the head coach according to how he does things.
There's a couple things. Like, I think when I see this, I think this is what I do believe. I do believe probably Tua sees this and doesn't love that it's out there because he's not a guy who wants to fuel controversy. So I'm sure he doesn't love his trainer going out there and saying these kinds of things on Twitter because he knows as much of a lightning rod as he is, Tua, like everything's a controversy with him. Whether he means to or not, everything sticks back to him and is like a thing. So it is going to come back to, Tua's talking bleep behind the coach's back. Now, Tua just happens to be in the position right now where I don't think it's going to hurt him too much because right now everybody's negative attention does seem more shifted on the coach and the GM because Tua isn't playing right now. You can't really.
Right.
There's no wrath that can go onto Tua Tagovailoa.
Is he back this week?
It seems like he's going to be. I don't think it's confirmed. He did met. Do you have flow on Tua's status there, Marcos? I think he did address it after the game, but I think it was one of those coaches. We'll see. It doesn't give you a clear answer on anything because why do that?
He's doing everything he can to get back. He's like I've said in previous media sessions. He threw Wednesday. He threw Friday. He's making progress. We'll see what it looks like. Hopefully, we can activate him and practice him this week, and we'll see what the week of practice looks like. Obviously, he's still dealing with some with the fracture in the ribs, so that's there'll definitely be some things from a pain tolerance standpoint he'd have to deal with. So we'll just see how he does with that, and we'll just try to take it one day at a time.
Yeah, the Dolphins, I think, are traveling out to London after Thursday's practice is when they're traveling out. So
how long is the flight?
To London? I think 5 hours. I think. I don't know for sure. Is that a bad thing? Is that is that going to matter for the ribs at this point?
Yeah. All injuries if you're in a plane.
How long?
But he should be. Look, I'm gonna just tell you from my own experiences. After 4 or 5 days, when it starts healing, the pain is not there, right? It's just a matter of being able to do things without re-injuring or causing problems. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm seeing 8 hours.
So
it seems long. 8 hours?
Yeah, man. Like 5 hours? People don't realize it's a 5-hour flight from California to Hawaii. Everybody thinks it's just right there. You know what I mean? It isn't.
Bangers and pass. I'm sure Flo's.
Oh, please.
I'm sure Flo's gonna love today when he hears from the media relations department. Hey, did you see what Tua's trainer tweeted?
You know what sucks? They're gonna finally get a win, and it's gonna be on in England. Can we get that win at Dolphin Stadium, please?
That would be nice. It would be nice to get a win for the home crowd for sure. But for I think for it would go a long way, even if it is against the Jaguars. Especially if the quarterback looks good in a comeback, it would go a long way in making the fan base feel better because all you've gotten right now has been awful performances and Justin Herbert lighting up the league. So if you could just get a morsel, just a crumb, sir. Can I just get a morsel of feel good for the fan base? That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice, even if it is in London and I have to watch it with my bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich.
Oh, or is it going to be on regular TV? Oh, we get the local thing, right?
Yeah, you get local. I think you should be good.
Okay, good. Thank God. I mean, they are killing me with this.
I'm sorry, man. I think that's the last
At least
one.
I got to see Thursday night.
Yeah, I think you're good after that. Other than and you will say at least these London games. I mean, they are pretty terrible. We send London the scraps. Why do they like
London
us?
Game is the London game the new Thursday night game? Because remember before the Thursday night game used to be.
I feel like London has pretty regular been in the trash heap because it's mostly just Jaguars and Dolphins for your ass. So,
the two teams that have something going on over there.
I guess. Hopefully, Urban Meyer doesn't get caught, having some tea time with a lady.
What are you doing?
Spot a tea there, Urban. What do you mean by that? Sure,
People
Stephen.
are more pissed at losing.
Yep, that's
and
right.
You feel like you have to blame somebody.
Oh yeah. Well, no, listen. You do have to blame somebody. You don't think? Hey, let me ask you something. What do you think I'm going to do? Just look around here and be like, they're trying their best. That ain't how it worked, Jack. Welcome to sports.
That's kind of how you did it with Bob, you bum.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I got you.
You don't what? What did you just do there? I'm very curious. Are you?
What do you mean?
Let me ask you something. Are you saying nobody in the Dolphins deserves blame for the start? Like, are you just saying it is what it is? I don't really understand what the take there is. It's just very, hey, you said this about Bob. Exactly. What the hell does that mean?
That it took you a lot longer to put some blame on Bob. Years.
He's been here for 2 years.
Of course they
been here for
deserve.
2 seasons.
I put blame on it right away. Like, what's different with this team? The defense.
Mm-hmm.
Start there. That's supposed to be the strength of your team. When the strength of your team
they don't
is
have
playing
any
poorly,
strength.
you're not going to win.
Yeah, but they haven't had any strength. They've literally lost games in every single way possible. They've lost games for bad special teams. They've lost games for bad defense. They've lost plenty of games for bad offense. Like, they are bad through and through. I think there's an argument to say they're one of the worst. They're one of the worst teams in football, Leroy. Like the
after 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What was the number?
See, I tend to believe that they're going to hit that stretch. I do believe that. Until that stretch, I'm not willing to say that they're done. I don't think they're. Look, you're not good enough to be able to come back from some of the things you have to come back from.
Here's
Doesn't mean you're not good. You're just not good enough.
These are tweets from Joe Shad, covers the team for the Palm Beach Post. Dolphins defense is allowing 422 yards per game, third worst in the NFL. Also allowing 30.8 points per game, third worst in the NFL. The offense is averaging 261.8 yards per game, second worst in the NFL. Also averaging 15.8 points per game, second worst in the NFL. In summary, the Dolphins have the second worst offense in the NFL and the third worst defense in the NFL statistically through 5 weeks. That's one of the worst teams in the league.
Correct.
There's no other way to slice it.
It is. It is.
And it looks like you look around it and a tandem that was getting a lot of flowers from everybody in Greer and Flores, you know, they're hitting some real adversity here. And I think more people are probably rats off a ship on Chris Greer than they are on Brian Flores. But give it time. You know, give it a couple of weeks more and see if this just continues to spiral in a bad direction. Or go to London and lose to the Jaguars and see how bad it gets.
That would do it.
Because it's not out of the realm of possibility, dude. They're only a field goal favorite against a winless Jaguars team. That's crazy. Their coach is getting lap dances and disagreeing with his quarterback on a weekly basis. That team is awful. An embarrassment. And Vegas is like, we're not sure. It's kind of what they're throwing out there, Leroy. That's how bad it is right now.
I mean, I can't disagree with you. Like,
kind of felt like you started off disagreeing with me, though.
No. I was never you're right. I'm not saying that there's anything that you said that was inaccurate. I was just wondering, hey, is there any way that they can turn this around? And I would say, like, you can get Tua back, and that's great. You can all of a sudden mysteriously get a run game, and that's great. But if your defense plays poorly, you have no chance. If they play poorly, you have no chance because that was supposed to be one of the strengths of your team. So while everybody's going to say, look at this, this, and this, I would say that defense doesn't look nearly as aggressive as it was last year. I'd like to know why.
Yeah.
And they may be doing things to be just as aggressive. They just aren't getting there.
Well, it's not even just the aggression is bad, but like, you know, you look at the week prior where it's like you can't stop Jonathan Taylor. You can't stop. Like, there's nothing that they feel like they can go out there. And
that's your pass rush. That's your front four. That's your front your front 6 or 7. That's who that is.
Yeah. Well, it was bad yesterday. Jerome Baker, bad. Gave him an extension, bad. Xavier Howard, you know, gave him his mini holdout yesterday, roasted and toasted. Raekwon Davis got him back yesterday, didn't do much for him. Jalen Phillips showed some stuff. He's a rookie though. I'm not supposed to be.
You're doing a. when you're doing a lot of these things in year 3 and year 4, like, and then you're talking about giving guys extensions, yeah, that's crazy. I would have a rule. I think if I ran a team, I'd have a rule. I wouldn't give more than X amount of extensions to current players in a year.
That would be your that's your policy.
The reason why is because you don't want 5 guys with fat cat syndrome. I can deal with 2, and 2 being hungry, but the Dolphins seem to throw a lot of money around, right? And I don't know whether it's because the guys aren't hungry because they're there, but it just looks different.
I think it's just a misidentifying of who's, a really good player.
That's a whole nother.
I think that's what it is.
That's a whole nother issue, though.
Yeah,
that means you're giving extensions to guys that don't deserve to be extended, or you gave too much money to them.
This is the thing that's the big problem, though, is just realizing like what they should have truly bought into and what they don't. Because I feel like this has been a franchise that over the last couple of years, everything has just kind of been thrown into the Tua basket, and Tua's not good, and Tua's not this, and all that. But really, there's been a lot of places where they have come up short as far as putting all the talent around. And you look yesterday, and it's like, Tony Romo was talking about, this wide receiver core was something I was really excited about. But like you've said plenty of times this year, Will Fuller doesn't play a lot of football. Finds his way.
Devontae Parker's out.
Devontae Parker, not a guy who's been reliable to play a lot of football over the years.
Preston Williams, I saw him. I'm like, wow. Hadn't he been inactive?
He was. Yeah, he was inactive at one point this year. For some reason, him and Devontae Parker, they don't play football at the same time. It's just not a thing.
Same person.
I don't have confirmation. They might be the same person.
You ever seen them in a room at the same time?
No, I haven't.
Exactly.
Because anytime Devontae Parker's active, Preston Williams is apparently not active.
Jersey switch.
An old switcheroo.
Yeah.
Except Preston Williams is, undrafted guy, comes out of nowhere. Devontae Parker, extension. They keep, kind of hanging him around. And, disappointing, man. It's disappointing on every level for this team. And the only thing that feels – and unfortunately, it does come back to this. Like, it does feel like the only thing is going to save this season from having any kind of feel-good is what is the quarterback going to be? Is he going to turn into anything good?
Daddy loves you guys.
And the bar just seems to get impossibly high for him to reach because of what Justin Herbert and the Chargers are doing. So everyone's going to be like, well, that's great, but he's not doing what the Chargers are doing, which looks like they're taking over the AFC.
It seems like all our counterparts are doing well. Justin Herbert's doing well. Jamar Chase is doing well. Greg Rousseau's doing well.
Greg Rousseau tipped the ball to himself yesterday off Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
It's just, like Jalen Phillips is sitting here like, I got a sack, guys. Yeah, you didn't tip the ball to yourself, though, JP. Sorry.
Well, part of the problem is that, keep in mind, Rousseau's been playing from the get-go.
Yeah, he has been. And honestly, I feel like Jalen Phillips probably out of anybody's had the best trajectory out of these first-round picks. So I'm not like trying to take shots at Jalen Phillips. I think he's been okay. But Greg Rousseau's been a monster. It's been a monster. Which he was. He was a monster. He was a monster his last year at the U. I mean, he lost to FIU, but he still had 16 sacks and sat out of the year.
Rousseau was a second-rounder, right?
First rounder. End of the first round.
Was he first? Did he go before or after?
After. He was like pick 30.
After.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Isn't that funny? So every pick.
Yeah, every pick's got a counterpoint.
Right after it or near after it. All right.
It's tough, right?
Not great, Bob.
Not great, Bob. Not great, Greer.
You think somebody's going to point that out and then heads are going to roll?
I would say.
I got to tell you, if I owned a team, I wouldn't necessarily say, I'm not going to say that I don't think the guy's process was great. But as an owner, I'm sitting back and I'm going, so every pick, the very next guy was the good one?
Right. Yeah, that I mean, like you could be.
That's gonna be if I'm an owner, that's hard for me to swallow.
No doubt.
Even if the process that they determined to get that guy was right. One caveat. What if the owner really wanted Tua?
I think that he would probably look around and say, well, what happened with the other picks?
Oh, he do a Tobin?
Well, I own the team.
He do a Tobin, so deflect off of what you did and go to some other stuff.
Because
let's not talk about that right now.
Even with Tua's going to be the one that gets the most headlines because Herbert looks amazing. But even if that is the case, like you have a left tackle who had to move positions, not even 2 seasons into his career. You have a cornerback who doesn't play football. You have a slot receiver. Oh, you have a guy who thought was going to be this dynamic speed threat, who is now a glorified slot receiver who's dropping the ball all over the place, which just has to make Robbie just so happy, rat bastard. And then you have Jalen Phillips, who's looked okay, but his teammate looks even better.
What I would say to you is don't read too much into an offensive lineman switching positions, unless you brought him in to be a left tackle,
which they did though. They did though, dude. Like they were.
Yeah, but a lot of here
when the coach said because Eichenberg played the first week because he had the Rona, and when he was asked, what does this mean for Austin Jackson? He goes, Austin Jackson's our left tackle. He said that going into week 2.
Right.
So if he's changing his mind 2 weeks later, that's an indictment on the player.
Yeah.
It's better. But I'm glad they're doing it. I want the coach to get it right. I want the coach to get it right. So do whatever you got to do to get it fixed. Fine. But yeah, if the guy's drafted in the first round because he's going to be your left tackle and the coach says he's our left tackle 2-3 weeks ago and then he's not your left tackle anymore, yeah, that says something bad.
All right. I just think that if he ends up playing and it's at guard, but he's productive, then it was fine. The Dolphins don't have the luxury of being able to figure out these things before a guy gets on the field at that position. So a lot of that gets lost there. But if they thought he was going to be a left tackle and he's not even close, then I could see how, it almost has to go on them. You can't put it on the player because maybe the player never was supposed to be a left tackle. That's what you're supposed to know. That's what the guys who are going to do all the testing and questioning and stuff like that. There's certain tests that offensive linemen do where you can tell, is his feet quick enough?
Guy goes, Lou Martinez says, Greer's telling Ross he doesn't get CBS or NBC, so he didn't watch Herbert. Oh, my God. Did you hear Drew Brees describe Herbert last night? Made it sound like he's got superpowers. He goes, yeah, I've heard with this Herbert. I was watching him, and it's weird when he throws the ball, it actually gets faster as it travels. I'm like, what? What is he, an Avenger? It's tough times right now, Leroy. What am I supposed to do? Having my little lefty buddy will help. My little Tua, just pinch cheeks. I would like to see him back playing football.
Wouldn't it be something for Tua that he comes back and plays and the offense looks way different?
It would be nice. Well, that would be ideal. You would think the guy that you drafted in that position comes back and the offense starts humming again. Yeah, that would be nice. I would like that. It would make me feel good.
You got to because if they would have taken Herbert, you would have been pissed, right?
Would I have been pissed at this point now? Maybe
No.
I need to save myself from myself.
No. I'm not talking about now. Now, if we had to make the draft, everything would be different. But I'm saying that at the time, if they would have said, you know what, we're gonna go with Justin Herbert.
Let me ask you something.
Everybody
you think that's gonna go over well though? If that's the answer that the GM ultimately has for the owner, you guys wanted him. You guys were happy that night. You think anybody who ends up marrying a stripper in Vegas is like, it seemed like a great decision at the time. We had fun that night.
No, again, I'm not it's still, to me, I'm not the guy that's just going to say that they made the wrong pick. But I'm saying that at the time, everybody was happy with Tua. So wouldn't if you were happy when the team drafted Tua, wouldn't you be the person that'd be most patient? I'm not saying you, just in general. But I mean, everybody was rats off a ship last year with Tua.
Yes, a lot of people were rats off a ship. I think that
right.
I think
I think
that had a lot to do with the way the season ending as catastrophically as it did with him.
Okay, but still, if
and the team,
I don't understand. This is what I have a hard time believing. If they would have taken the other quarterback,
right,
everybody would have been pissed off. But they didn't, and now you're pissed off that they chose. But
they would have been pissed off that night.
Okay, I got you. All right. But they would have been, oh, maybe this guy knows more than us.
Unless Justin Herbert just sucks here too, because this place is cursed. It feels like, honestly, probably would have been a rat bum. You
can't rule that out.
Yeah, he probably just would have been a rat bum if he would have been here anyway. This is the way things are going.
Because I got to tell you, of all the quarterbacks that got drafted in the last couple of years, the one who was supposed to be the best is Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not having a good go at it either.
Yeah, he was all right yesterday. Showed some flashes. Showed some flashes. I can't help it that he's got a top bum as his head coach. I mean, do you see some of the quotes that are coming out with Jaguars players where they're like, "This guy's a fraud. He's a bum. Nobody believes in him." I mean, this could not have gotten worse for Urban Meyer. It's unbelievable.
You know why that's coming out? Because they're losing. That's it.
That's right. Well, that's the thing that sucks about when you go in these ruts. See, the one thing with the Jaguars is we talked about rebuilds. They're in the first year of their rebuild. Like, this is Urban Meyer's first season. The thing with the Dolphins is Dolphins are probably one of the bigger disappointments in the league. Like, they won double-digit games last year. And your bottom three in offense and defense, this is where Tua's trainer comes out and tweets about the coach and says the owner's not happy. This stuff, that's only the beginning. Don't think that's just the start. If wins don't start getting here quick, you're going to start hearing about all that behind the scenes stuff, especially with this franchise. That greasy gossip gets out so quick when it comes to this team. I mean, it's not like we hear about everything. This franchise always does the old news dump story where it's, well, Jarvis Landry was chewing out Adam Gase. Well, Jay Ajayi was getting into fights in practice. Well, Don Aponte was scheming in the backs behind Joe Philbin. Well, Jeff Ireland was on the plane, and now him and Tony Sperano aren't friends anymore. Like, we hear all the dirt when it goes bad. It's nonstop. Tua's trainer.
I don't think it's that's unique to here. We're hearing the same thing in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
The only difference is the coach is aiding and abetting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny how, like, man, everybody was pumped. I don't think this. How many years do you go into a Dolphins season? You were this excited for what it was going to be every single Sunday, and we're back to square one of, man, it is laborious getting through these games.
Can we give it to game 8?
I don't know, man. My time's pretty valuable, and these are feeling like wastes of Sundays.
All right.
You don't find yourself watching other games, like just little peeksy poo? Like, what did you have?
Yeah.
If you're honest, what game did you have more fun watching yesterday? Even if the Browns lost, that was a party. That game, you had the Browns throwing Eckler into the end zone to intentionally have him score touchdowns. There were TDs left and right, willy nilly. Oh, what a party! Imagine the Dolphins scoring 47 points.
Man, have they scored 47 in the last 3 weeks?
Yes. Because they put up 28 against the Raiders, who lost yesterday to the Bears, by the way.
Wait, they scored 20.
They scored 28.
The week before that, they scored none.
No. The week they scored none was week 2. The last 3 weeks they scored 28, 17, and 17.
Okay.
Not great,
Not
Bob.
much more.
Not great, Bob. But
Not
still.
great, Bob.
This team. Don't lose to Jack. Hey,
You already putting it out there?
Leroy?
Are you already putting it out there?
Leroy?
On a Monday?
Yes. Monday,
All right.
October 11th at 9:15. Dolphins?
Oh boy.
Brian Flores?
The pressure.
Chris Greer?
You sure you want to do it? You don't want to wait until later on in the week? You sure? You want to do this right now?
Because I don't definitely know if Tua's playing, like, should I would be more
You
responsible?
want to do this right now?
Nah, man. Even if Tua's not playing, bro, you lose this game, season's done.
You know what? Miami Dolphins?
Oh, we doing it, huh?
Don't lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh,
Don't lose.
no.
Don't you go out there and you lose to Jacksonville. I am telling you right now, you have a coach getting lap dances, disagreeing with his quarterback. They got injuries all over the place. They stink. Jacksonville is a hole. Miami Dolphins. Don't lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. Don't you fly
Ricky
8 hours.
Bobby, don't you put that heat on me.
Leroy, don't fly 8 hours across the pond.
Don't do it.
Don't lose in front of the Queen. Don't you lose in front of Queen Elizabeth. All right?
So
Don't
you
go
really
out there.
did it, huh?
Yeah, I'm saying
You
it.
really did it.
I'm saying it. Don't lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. All right? I'm telling you right now. If you Leroy, and in fact, if they lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars this week and drop to 1-5, 1-5. If they lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm calling for consequences and repercussions. Yup.
No.
Yup. That just happened. If you lose, because don't lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but if you lose, should you lose, I am calling for consequences and repercussions. I won't say what those are because I don't quite feel what they are right now, but I have a feeling that me and Mr. Ross, we're on the same page here, Leroy. Don't lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Don't lose.
All right.
Pains me to do it, Leroy. Pains me to do it. Sorry.
On a Monday,
I
I
know.
thought you'd take a day to let things die down a little bit.
Nope.
Maybe get your bearings about you. No, nothing. None of that.
No.
Clean up on our
We'll take a break. Back with more after this.